CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Brendan Purdy.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of sober second thought on all plans. Where you draw the line on that, I don't know.
Tonight on CTV News, a bike lane breakdown. A proposal to pause bike path construction is denied by City Council. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. During its final meeting of the term, Edmonton City Council rejected an effort to pause bike lane construction. That pause would have allowed for more consultation with Edmontonians over the winter. CTV's Jeremy Thompson tells us why the suggestion was shot down.
Bike lanes are being built all over the city, including in the central neighborhood of Delton. Some people in the area don't want them. They created a petition and even caught the attention of Transportation Minister Devin Dreeshen, asking him to intervene in the city's plans.
These things are catching them by surprise. These are not necessarily the things that they want.
That's what motivated councillor and mayoral candidate Tim Cartmell to call for a pause on any new bike lane construction on city streets.
It's the last chance to say, okay, we hear you. We're going to stop. The stop isn't going to cause a lot of damage. We'll take a look and hear from you before we proceed again.
Along with the Delton lanes, which city staff say are 3/4 complete, the pause would likely also impact work on 132nd Ave. Councillor Karen Principe has repeatedly raised concerns about that 4-year bike lane project. She's running for re-election in Cartmell's Better Edmonton party.
I wish we weren't here. I wish that this had come about earlier. But I'm glad it is here now. Thank you, Councillor Cartmell.
City staff say they'd have to analyze which projects could be paused and the consequences for doing so.
We would be looking at monetary implications, cost delays with the contractor. There could be some increased costs to finish the work in the following year.
Some councillors grappled with what constitutes proper consultation.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of sober second thought on all plans. Where you draw the line on that, I don't know.
It's very easy to listen to the loudest voices or the unhappy voices and say that they weren't listened to. They were listened to.
The mayor says he's proud to build bike lanes that offer safe transportation options to Edmontonians.
More and more people using those bike lanes and act more of transportation. And as we build more people will use them.
In the end, Cartmell couldn't convince enough of his colleagues to support the bike lane pause. He'll instead take his pitch to Edmontonians on the campaign trail. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A motion to see affordable units in the Riverdale neighborhood rezoned in the future has passed. The motion guarantees all future builds on those lots would contain at least 20 affordable units. Nonprofit Home Ed currently owns the units. Back in April, Council approved their sale. The sites are located on 101st Avenue, 88th Street, and 92nd Street. To date, the units haven't sold.
It's just the first step. A rezoning would have to come to a future public hearing, but I do think it's really important for the neighbors to provide some level of assurance in terms of what's in their neighborhood moving forward.
Area Councillor Ann Stevenson says affordable housing is important to those living in the community. During election season, the mayoral and council races eat up a lot of attention, but you'll also be voting for school board trustees. Two former trustees say that the decisions winners will make over the next 4 years will have far-reaching consequences. CTV's Connor Hogg has the story.
Among the many election signs popping up on Edmonton roads are those for school board trustee candidates. While many are unaware who the candidates are, they say it's important to find out.
I'm not super in touch with it now, but I'm keen to kind of educate myself.
Up to us to let them know what we want, what we expect.
Especially with what's going on already, we need to make sure that people are getting the proper education.
Well, that idea that we invest and pay attention to school board elections, I think matters, and I would say now more than ever.
Tricia Estabrooks is a former school board trustee and chair of Edmonton's Public School Board. She says the election is important even to those without kids in school.
Our future generation of Albertans who will staff our hospitals, work in our schools, take care of us when we get older.
Decisions that we made at the school board are not just billion-dollar budget decisions. They're also pivotal conversations about what do we want our community to look like? What do we want our schools to look like? Who should our schools be for?
Ward Papasteo City Councillor Michael Jans is also a former trustee. He says he's excited to see so many races with candidates running instead of being elected by default.
I think that's a sad state. But now, in my particular area, there's 3 highly qualified people running for school board.
Estabrook says trustees work closely with councillors, MLAs, and MPs. Jan says while some of the trustees' authority has moved to the province over the last quarter century, it's important for members of the community to have their say. Everyone can vote for trustees in the general election, not just voters with children.
If you have children, if you have young people in your life and you care about their education, then certainly make the time and invest the time. I mean, what is it? 5-10 minutes to scour some websites, talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends. I mean, that's all it takes.
Election Day is October 20th. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
In 2 weeks' time, Albertans eligible for free COVID-19 vaccines will be able to receive them. Those who aren't eligible must decide whether paying $100 for the shot is worth it. CTV's Nicole Weisberg has some expert advice.
I do.
You do qualify to get it for free?
Yeah, but my husband doesn't.
For the first time since COVID-19 emerged, one half of this couple will be getting vaccinated and one won't.
But I don't have the same issues she does, so she gets it and I don't.
Are you going to pay?
Not right now. It's too expensive, really.
This pediatric infectious disease specialist and vaccine researcher says the COVID vaccine is about as effective as the flu shot.
40 to 60% reduction in your chance of getting hospitalized and dying from COVID. And that's similar to what we see with the flu vaccine year on year. And I should say that COVID killed twice as many Albertans last year as influenza.
Low-income seniors, people who are immunocompromised, have underlying medical conditions, live in continuing care, or are homeless are eligible for free vaccines. After the government reversed its initial policy, healthcare workers are also included. Everyone else must pay $100.
I am going to pay because I do want to be vaccinated.
For those who are undecided, Dr. Top suggests looking at the national recommendations on who gets vaccinated. Alberta covers most of those people, but not all.
Most notably that the vaccine doesn't appear to be being offered for free to all Albertans 65 and over, which we know age is probably the biggest risk factor for severe disease.
Other groups left out are people in or from First Nation communities and racialized communities. In a statement, the province says many of these people fall into other eligibility categories, including 87% of seniors. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Alberta's Privacy Commissioner has questions about the province's push to add citizenship details to driver's licenses. Earlier this week, Premier Danielle Smith said mandatory citizenship markers will be placed on IDs in late 2026. Today, the province's Information and Privacy Commissioner questioned that change. She says her office wasn't informed or consulted ahead of time, and it's unclear what the benefit for Albertans would be. Smith says it's been successful in other jurisdictions.
Well, Manitoba has had citizenship on its licenses in the past, as has Ontario. So I think we can manage through it. There's 67 countries in the world that have citizenship on their government issue ID, and part of the reason for that is to make sure that the people who are accessing social programs are entitled to access those social programs.
The Privacy Commissioner says her office will further assess the changes once it sees the proposed legislation. Meanwhile, Smith is directing her jobs minister to use all legal means possible to give Alberta more control over immigration. In a new mandate letter, Smith says Alberta needs more control over immigration to ensure the province sees sustainable levels of newcomers. The letter says Canadian citizens should have first access to jobs and young people should be prioritized over temporary foreign workers. This comes as the Alberta Next panel travels the province, hearing ways the province can wrestle power from Ottawa. Your Edmonton Oilers return to the ice today opening training camp with medical and fitness testing. General Manager Stan Bowman was asked about forward Zach Hyman. The 33-year-old was injured in the playoffs and had surgery this offseason. Bowman and Hyman say his recovery is going well and he's skating, just not with the team. There's no timeline yet for his return. Well, Bowman says he continues to have conversations with Captain Connor McDavid regarding a new contract, adding that McDavid's main focus is winning, not his salary.
I trust what Connor says. I mean, really, at the end of the day, when Connor says there's nothing that he wants more is to win in Edmonton, I believe him. I don't know why anyone else wouldn't. Like, he's been consistent in saying that, and I love hearing it when he says that's his singular focus, is to win in Edmonton.
The Oilers' preseason schedule begins Sunday with a split squad games, a pair of them against the Calgary Flames. The Philadelphia Flyers have confirmed goaltender Carter Hart won't return to the team following his high-profile sexual assault trial. The Flyers say Hart is looking for a fresh start after being away from the team for 18 months. Earlier this month, the NHL said it was reinstating Hart, along with Alex Formenton, Michael McLeod, Dylan Dubé, and Cal Foote. The 5 former World Junior players were acquitted of sexual assault stemming from an incident in 2018. The 5 are eligible to sign NHL contracts on October 15th and play games beginning on December 1st. The Oilers GM was asked about the possibility of signing Hart earlier today.
Right now, we're not looking at those types of situations. I really like I referenced earlier to Mark, I like where Stu's at with his the way he trained and his outlook coming into the year. So I think we're going to go forward with that.
Hart grew up in Sherwood Park. Leaders in the canola industry are also optimistic after a meeting with the Prime Minister. Saskatchewan's Premier updated the group yesterday on Chinese tariffs on canola after a trip to China. The chair of the Alberta Canola Producers Commission was there. He says Canadian officials continue to be engaged with the Chinese to work towards a solution. He adds the international trade relationship is complicated and they need market access to one of the world's largest importers.
It's not something that we can replace overnight. That's one of the things we did talk to the Prime Minister about. There's short-term and long-term implications. And one of the longer, or say medium-term, is basically we really need to look at renewable fuels in Canada. That way our product stays here and it can be used here.
The hope from industry leaders is for a resolution to be found by the end of the year. The union representing flight attendants at WestJet wants to start contract negotiations. CUPE has served notice to bargain a new collective agreement. The current contract expires on December 31st. WestJet flight attendants want compensation for unpaid work that they do during, before, and after flights. The airline says it's looking forward to reaching an agreement. Earlier this month, Air Canada flight attendants rejected their employer's latest offer after striking over similar concerns. The federal government's probe into unpaid work in Canada's airline sector is expected to wrap up by early December. Just ahead, a historic bust. An Alberta law enforcement response team make one of the largest drug busts in the province's history. Plus, a race well run. We catch up with this season's winners of the Amazing Race.
To come away on top was just so cool.
Good evening, folks. A warm one today. We got up to 28 degrees for a daytime high in Edmonton. Look at Jasper, 29. We'll see temperatures slip back into the mid-20s for tomorrow and Friday, and then Saturday, right back up around 28 or 29 degrees. Full look at your 5 to 10-day forecast in a couple minutes.
Welcome back. The newest winners of the Amazing Race Canada have been crowned after more than 2 months of challenges. It's the 3rd year in a row the top competitors have had ties to Alberta. Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more.
Oh no, this is too good to be true.
That's the moment Jesse Herring and Jonathan Braun crossed the finish line to win the Amazing Race Canada Season 11.
It felt so surreal. Like, we were in the finale against some tough competition, and to come away on top was just so cool.
Herring hails from Sherwood Park, and Braun is from Woodlawn, Ontario. The season started off in Edmonton, where last season's winners were crowned.
All right, everyone, good luck.
It was such a great advantage in that first leg because we had to be driving around, and to know how to get onto the Anthony Henday and get around Edmonton was a really key point.
Edmonton viewers may have recognized these familiar faces in the race.
I'm known as Superfan Magoo of the Edmonton Oilers. I'm the guy who pumps up the team and the fans.
Heading into the final episode, Blair and Skylene, also known as Superfan Magoo and Nippy, were in first place. They ended up in fourth.
I had all sorts of different emotions. I was mad, I was sad, I was heartbroken.
Even though we didn't win first, to us, we were still champions.
The teams crossed 24 cities in 5 provinces and 1 territory, but participating in Edmonton was special.
As we were rappelling down, he was rappelling down, and there was like fans standing to the side, and they were yelling, Magoo!
The winners, who now live in BC, took home 2 brand new cars, a trip around the world, and a $250,000 cash prize.
It's not buying us a house, maybe a nice cardboard box somewhere, but it is definitely just giving that ability to kind of take a breath and figure out what's next.
Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
A Red Deer Wildland Firefighting Company is expanding into the United States. Fire and Flood trains firefighters to help when wildfires are out of control. It has also designed its own portable above-ground hydrant system for fighting the fires. The company began in 2016 and has expanded within Western Canada. This new expansion is their first to the U.S. Alberta's alert enforcement team says it's made one of the biggest drug busts in provincial history, a cross-border case they call Project Cerberus. Police say the cocaine was trafficked through 3 countries and was destined to stay in Canada. 4 of the 6 charged in connection with the bust are from the Edmonton area. Kevin Green reports.
Rifles and handguns line the table at police headquarters, along with stacks of drugs. In total, 15 firearms and 157 kilograms of cocaine, all laid out in bricks. It's one of the biggest drug busts in Alberta history.
The cocaine tested at between 96 to 98% purity, and if sold on the street, it would have an estimated value of over $15 million.
Required a great number of partnerships and policing resources.
The packed podium was its own message. This bust took a lot of badges. RCMP, Calgary Police, Toronto Police, and the US DEA. A multi-jurisdiction push to dismantle a network with Mexican cartel ties.
This wasn't just a Calgary problem, or an Alberta problem for that matter. We are talking about a multinational criminal organization, a business built on importing drugs and violence into our communities.
Investigators say the cocaine came through land borders, moving between countries in 7 vehicles, each built out with hydraulic button and toggle secret compartments.
Our information suggests that the organized crime group was paying upwards to $50,000 to have these hidden compartments installed, and this speaks to the sophistication of their operation and profit motive.
Clearly known in the underworld, the group even stamped its own logo on every brick of cocaine. Officers won't say how they first learned of the network, but they do say they believe it's no longer operating.
This criminal organization was effectively dismantled over the past few months with a series of arrests and charges approved by the Public Prosecution Service of Canada.
Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
After the break, a dendrological destination. We take you on a tree tour at the University of Alberta campus.
Then the students can learn about trees that are maybe not native to Alberta's forests. Maybe they're from Eastern Canada or elsewhere in the world.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. 28 degrees puts us 11 degrees above average today. We'll drop to about 24, so cooler tomorrow. Still way above average, though. It was 13 degrees this morning, a lot warmer than yesterday morning when we woke up to a low of 6. We'll be in the 11 or 12 degree range. Looks like tomorrow morning. You've got some scattered showers here in northwestern Alberta overnight tonight. None of that coming through the Edmonton area. Will be sunny right through the day tomorrow. In the afternoon, though, western parts of the province starting to see this cloud cover. A couple scattered showers popping up. There's a little bit of a cold front that's going to slide through on the back edge of the upper ridge that's kept us sunny and hot for the last couple of days. And as that front goes through, this is about 10 p.m. Could see some scattered showers along that front, possibly even in the Edmonton area. I don't think it's going to amount to much if we get anything at all, but a few scattered showers as that goes through. This may linger into Friday morning for areas off to the southeast of Edmonton. Here in the city, though, skies will be clearing pretty quickly through the afternoon hours, so we're back to sunshine for Friday afternoon and then sunny and hot on Saturday. There was today. Watch this dark red zone. Slips a little further to the east and southeast tomorrow. There's Friday, mid-20s Friday, and then that heat comes back. Could even see some low 30s across parts of south and southeastern Alberta. Sunday, though, Sunday is Saturday's kind of the peak, and then after that, we drop off the cliff, and temperatures will slide back a lot closer to average for next week. 11 degrees in Fort McMurray, 10 in Grand Prairie, 11 degrees in Edmonton tomorrow morning. A little cooler in Red Deer at 7 degrees. You get into the low 20s across the northwest, low to mid-20s for northeastern Alberta. Should see temperatures around 20. Jasper, Edson, Whitecourt areas. There's that chance of showers in the afternoon. 23s, Red Deer and east central Alberta, and here in the city. 24 tomorrow. Sunshine through the day, but late tomorrow night, a slight chance of a shower. 24 again on Friday with some clearing. 28 Saturday, and then highs near 20 for Sunday, Monday. And by the end of next week, back into the mid to upper teens. That is your forecast.
The University of Alberta says if you're not paying attention to the trees on its campus, then you're missing out. The school is home to dozens of different species, including some you may think couldn't survive here. As Nara Maneeson tells us, the U of A is branching out by offering tree tours.
I'm Stacy Bergheim, and I am a tree nerd.
Stacy Bergheim is an expert in trees. She works at the Forest Genetics Lab at the University of Alberta.
So this is the ginkgo biloba tree. It's native to China. It's considered to be a living fossil because it actually has not changed that much in the last 29 million years.
The university is home to 50 species of trees, both native and from around the world.
It is native to the Middle East and Russia. It's a Russian olive. It's got this beautiful gray, green foliage.
This is Alberta's provincial tree, the lodgepole pine.
It's a pretty important economic tree for Alberta's forestry.
And Canada's national tree, the sugar maple.
This is the tree that gets tapped to get maple syrup from.
The trees are also part of the curriculum for forestry students who use them to learn how to identify different kinds.
Then the students can learn about trees that are maybe not native to Alberta's forests. Maybe they're from eastern Canada or elsewhere in the world, but we now have exposure for our students to those trees.
I do notice the trees, yeah. I'm a forester, so I really like American elm, these ones right here.
The university is hosting guided tours this weekend. Bergheim says she hopes this gets students and staff to not take the trees for granted.
When you're walking through campus, if you're not looking up, you're probably not seeing each tree. You feel how those trees make you feel better and they look beautiful, but they're not maybe identifying and looking at a specific tree and saying, oh, that particular tree is beautiful.
The tours are free and open to the public. Nara Maneeson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Saturday marks the Battle of the Badges as Edmonton Fire takes on the Edmonton Police in a soccer match. The fun-filled family event will showcase their sportsmanship, pride, and athleticism. The event will include a concession stand hosted by the Edmonton Fire's Burn Treatment Society, a halftime penalty shootout for the kids, and an appearance from the fire department's mascot, Sparky.
We're proud to be a part of it. We're honored to be a part of it. We're going to be out here kicking the ball around, having a friendly, competitive match, raising some money.
I think there's a lot of pride on both sides of the pitch. We're going to try our best. We're going to play as clean as possible, but yeah, it'll be physical.
The teams take the pitch at the Edmonton Scottish Soccer Centre Saturday afternoon at 1. Admission is free. Alrighty, folks, that's all from us on this Wednesday night. Thanks for wrapping up your day with us here on CTV Edmonton. Want to wish my little Nev Rocky a happy second birthday. Love you, bud. We'll see you back here same time, same place tomorrow night. Until then, take care and goodbye for now.